Hi, I'm Donna Joy Asher. I'm a multi-genre award-winning author, so I write in the cozy mystery space and I also write in the fantasy space, and kind of don't know if it's more paranormal. I'm moving into sort of more witch, demon stuff, so I don't know if that's still fantasy or if that's getting into the paranormal stuff. But anyway, I write in lots of different genres. So today I want to talk to you about getting ready to publish. So my book, Chanel No. 6, which is the 6th book in my cozy mystery series, has come back from the editor. So I bound it for her, so this is it here. You can see. And it's come back and it's like, woohoo, I'm almost there. And then I started to write a list of all the things that I had to do, and I realized how much work there is left to do. So when you're writing a book, especially when you're a self-published author and you're doing this all yourself, there's kind of like the three phases. There's the actual creation phase of the story, and that is like, well, coming up with the story idea, coming up with the whole plot, the story arcs, the characters, the world building, then actually sitting down and writing this thing and getting it to a point where it's structurally sound and it works, and all the stories in there and all the characters are behaving in the way they should be and all the questions are answered and we've come to the point, and we've basically fleshed out the story. And then it goes off to the editor. Then it comes back and you make the changes, and there's this whole admin side sort of like that has to happen for the book to be published. And then after that, there's marketing yourself and marketing the book. So obviously I'm not going to go into that today, but I want to talk about the bit in between when it comes back from the editor and it actually is something that someone can buy. So what do we need to do? Well, the first thing I need to do is actually go in and make the changes. So I need to go and make the changes that are suggested so that I've got this finished draft, let's call it that. And then from there, we need to turn it into a book. So what happens from there? Well, the first thing I need to do is I need to make sure that I've got what we call an ISBN. So an ISBN is, if you look at the back of a book, it's like kind of the barcode part here. It's an ISBN, and we buy ISBNs. And you need a different ISBN for the print as you do for the ebook. So I can use the same ISBN for my ebook that's on Amazon as it is on Barnes & Noble and everywhere else. That's fine. So one ISBN for an ebook, but then a second ISBN for a print book. So I buy my ISBNs in lots of 10 because they're cheaper that way. And then I have them all in my filing cabinet, and whenever I publish a book, I go and get them out and I assign the next two. And then I actually need to go into the website where I've bought these ISBNs and actually remember to go in and let them know what the ISBN is being used for, what book it's being used for, and put all that detail in there. So that's the first bit of admin I have to do. Then I have to make sure I've got a cover. So I have to have a different cover design for ebook as well as print. So the ebook's easy, right? It's just the front cover of your print, but then you've got your spine and you've got your back. And I can design my own ebook covers, that's fine, but the print is a little bit trickier because you've got to allow for bleed and things like that in it. So this book, I've actually designed my ebook cover, and I'm going to go back to my print cover designer and get her to take that and create the actual print cover for me. So she'll put the spine and she'll make sure it's the right width. Now, in saying that, you can't get your print cover ebook finished and designed until you have actually formatted the book for print. Because once it's formatted for print with all of the matter in there, the front matter and the back matter, that's when we get our page number. And once we get our page numbers, that's what the cover designer uses to get the spine the right width. Because if you have the spine the wrong width, then obviously it's either going to be too thick or too thin for the book, and it just doesn't work when it gets created. So I need to get my cover designed, but then I'm like, okay, well, I can't do that until I actually format my book. So formatting my book means taking it and then adding my front and back matter in, and then formatting it into 3 different ways. So one is an EPUB file, secondly is a MOBI file, and third is a PDF file. So the EPUB file is what's the MOBI file. MOBI file is what we use on Amazon. EPUB file is for all other digital. So if you're in Barnes & Noble, or if you're reading on Apple, things like that, they're going to use an EPUB file, and Kindle uses MOBI. So they're the two ebook files, and then you've got your PDF for print. So it has to be properly formatted with all your margins and all your page numbers and all the... I remember the first time I published a book and I did the formatting myself and I got it back, and then I was reading a book about self-publishing and I was being pretty cocky, like, yeah. And I started reading about how to make sure your print book looks like a proper print book, and I had so many things wrong. It was so funny. I should go back and redo the whole thing, and I had bought like 100, I think I bought like 100 of these print books thinking I was going to sell them all, and they were all had these errors in them. So when you're publishing for print, you know, you've got to have the page, like at the top I've got my authors on one side, I've got the book name on the other side, you've got your numbering down the bottom, that's fine. But then each chapter has to start on, for instance, let me find a chapter. When you start a chapter, it all has to be started on the, okay, so we have a look. Your chapter always starts on this side. So even if it would have started on this side, you have a blank page here and then you have it here. And then the thing with the chapter page is you can see up the top, I don't have any of the top matter here. Okay, so I've got it over here, but not over here. Still has the page number. So there's different things that need to be on different pages, and it all has to be formatted correctly. So once I've got that done, then I can get the cover designed. So I need to format, and then I need to get the covers designed. Now, a whole part of this is writing the inner content. So if you look in a book, you've got the, you know, you've got the first page, which is the like introductory page, and then you've got like all these important details here, and then we've got acknowledgements. So this stuff has to all be created as well. And when you think that you're almost there, and then you realize you've got to create all this front and back matter, it can be quite tiring, exhausting. And then you've got the back matter, like what do you want them to do after they read this book? Do you want them to go check out the next book in the series? And you can see with this that, you know, when I wrote book 2, Goons and Roses, and then I went and wrote book 3, but book 3 wasn't in the back of book 2. So kind of like there's always this reworking process where you have to go back into the old books and then change the back matter and then get them back out there. And so it's this continuously having to remember to go and redo things to make the most out of this. Because otherwise people get to the end of this book and they don't realise there's a book 3. They don't realise there's a book 4. You know, if I've got an offer for people to go and get something for free, I need to be in there. So, you know, at the moment I've got a couple of my books in the back of this one, but I haven't actually got book 3 in there in this copy. So the formatting, you've got to write the front and back matter, and then put that all in there. And then, and this is the part that often takes the most time because it's quite tricky, is the back cover blurb. So the back cover blurb is obviously on the back in on a print book, but it's actually what we also put in the description on Amazon, a back cover blurb. And this, you can be a great author and you can be totally shite at writing back cover blurbs, because this is a total other skill. It's almost like a copywriting skill as opposed to a story writing skill. You need to be able to take this massive storyline, this plot with maybe lots of different characters and lots of different storylines woven together, and you need to be able to turn that into 3 paragraphs that's going to make someone want to read it. And that is a totally different skill in itself. And it can take me a day or 2 to write just 3 paragraphs of back cover blurb, because it's really about coming down to the essence of what is the book about, what is the main part of the book about. When you distill it down, when you remove all of the extra storylines and all the other stuff that you've built in, that you've woven into the fabric, to the tapestry of this book, what is the core of the book about? What was the main premise about? And then you need to write it in such a way that you're creating intrigue and you're creating desire, for someone wants to know what happens next. And then the last paragraph is like, you know, putting questions out there so that people have to read it to get these questions answered. So that is a challenge in itself, the back cover blurb. And it's something that I always put off, because I know it's going to be time consuming. I know it's going to be frustrating. And I know that I have to write it and write it and write it. And I used to write it and think that I was done. And then now I realize, write it, go away, come back, rewrite it, go away, come back, rewrite it, go away, come back, you know, leave it a day, come back to it. And I keep looking at the sentences within the back cover blurb to see if they are the most powerful they can be. Are they engaging the audience? Are they making the audience curious? Are they evoking something within the audience? And it's the target audience, obviously, that I want to read the book that I have to be directing this at. Am I making them curious enough to make them want to pick up the book and read it and find out what happens next? And how can I put as much in there and have it as concentrated as possible so I'm not diluting the impact of the back cover blurb? So that is something that I am yet to do. And then there's the publishing. So once you've done that, so basically you get your ISBNs, you write your front and back matter, you do the formatting for the EPUB and the print, then you can get your final cover design done for the print. Then once that is all done, then it's really the publishing platforms. And at the moment I'm publishing just on Amazon, and that's a choice. I took it off everywhere else because I'm really tapping into the Kindle library and the page reads and stuff like that, and doing a lot of marketing on there, trying to get my book sales up. But if I was doing everywhere, publishing everywhere, then I would use Draft2Digital. Draft2Digital is an amazing publishing platform. It basically handles all of the other platforms for you. So I loaded up to Amazon myself into the Kindle KDP library there, and then I was loading it to Draft2Digital and letting them handle everything else for me. But at the moment I'm just doing Amazon. So that's it there. That is all on what comes next in publishing a book. So that's what I've got laid out for me in the next week to get going on. And as soon as this Coco and Chanel, so Chanel number 6, is out there, I will let you guys know. Probably below this video is a link to my author page. Go check me out, go see what books are there. If you really liked this video, make sure you subscribe so when my videos are released you know about them, and make sure that you push the little like button. That would be awesome. And I will see you guys in the next video.